What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Don, man. Gotta make another video, man. I want to talk about this Josh stuff real quick because I remember last stream we had it was a pretty popular thing to talk about. When it happened, we streamed. I forgot what game we played. I think we played against the Kings that night. I think we played against the Kings, and we talked for like maybe 20, 30 minutes about this whole Ja thing. And Ja, I guess, suspension came out for the whole thing with the gun or whatever, and NBA suspends him 8 games, and yeah, here we are. So, what I wanted to say about it is like, look, man, like for John Morant, it's simple, dog. Like, focus on your basketball, dude. Focus on your basketball. All this other stuff, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If you're gonna have guns and stuff like that, hire security or something like that. Like at the end of the day, it's like to me, like John Morant to me seems like that type of player, man. Like you ask yourself, man, what are you trying to prove here, dog? Like focus on your basketball, but at the same time, it's a different generation where people want to make clear that they're that guy or they're quote unquote like that or this or that, and there's a lot of young players, athletes, who feel the need to uh, whether it's add to their character or have a certain image of themselves as this type of dude so that you can put people on notice that that's how you roll, which I think is cool if you want to do that. If that's what you want to do, that's okay. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I'm saying that sometimes when you move like this, it comes with consequences, and I think it was B Sims that said this. It was either B Sims or DJ. When we talked about it, when we first heard about this, he said, we Ja got to find better people to hang around with, because if you got people in your corner that you hang around with all the time, they won't let you get in these type of situations. But you are doing something like that. I even see the video. I don't care to watch it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they said the videos out. I didn't see it. I could probably find it right here if I really wanted to. I don't think it's that important for me to watch it. It happened. It's out there. That's another thing too. When you do something nowadays and somebody records you, it's out there, man. You can't even lie. You can't deny. You can't even, it's clear as day. We got 4K video cameras now on our cell phone. So it's not even something that you can say, oh, well, this is just a rumor. It didn't happen. It's not like back in the day anymore. You know what I'm saying? It used to be like that where you can get away with things. People said this and that. There were no cameras. There wasn't anything like that. It was somebody's word against your word. And if you were a person of influence, a star player, or athlete, or important person, figure, or something like that, nobody would believe the other person because they wouldn't have the type of name recognition. They wouldn't have the type of clout to be able to have people actually believe them. But nowadays, things are recorded in an instant. The same way I'm recording this video, the same way you can record your own videos or record something you see outside. With that means that you're now a target. And John Morant has to learn that sometimes certain things ain't worth what you think it is. Like if you were trying to say like, hey man, I'm really like that, you better not do this and that, that's cool. But remember, as soon as you get in any type of altercation, that video camera is out. And you know what? Stuff like this is how you start losing money. You start losing endorsements. You never want to see that happen to like a young player, But I emphasize that he is a young player and you learn. You live, you learn. And that's the one thing I want to close out, when I think about this or just talk about this. Like, hey, man, it happened. He's a young guy. Young guys are going to do young guy things sometimes. And you just have to move on and learn from it. And I hope we can all move on after he serves 8 games, which I think is a little bit too much, in my opinion. I don't know how you suspend somebody for 8 games. One, two, I don't even understand why they made him go to counseling. I don't even know what type of this is a very popular thing now in the NBA. They make people go to counseling, whatever. And at the end of the day, it's to protect the image of the league because you do play for a league who is global and they're everywhere around the world. And Ja Morant is like literally one of those 5 players or so in the NBA right now who are extremely popular. And he's adding to that NBA brand. And NBA is not playing around these days with that type of stuff. Remember back in the day, there was the stuff with Allen Iverson and stuff like that, or even the Bad Boys, going back even further, talking about Pistons and stuff like that. But nowadays, the NBA is a very strict league in certain aspects when it comes to stuff like this. In other aspects, they allow the NBA players to have a lot of fun. They do their own thing, be themselves and whatever. But stuff like this, they don't play around with. In fact, in the NFL, it'd probably be a little bit different, because the NBA owners, the NFL owners could have a lot of say. And if it's a popular player, that player in the NFL might be able to get away with it a little bit more because the team is bigger and it's easier to defend, in the NFL than it is in the NBA. It's just a smaller league in a way. You know what I'm saying? Less players. Less players to really discipline or even make examples out of. Which I think this is really that. But then again, it was Ja's own decision that led him there. But I'm just telling you, the comparison between the NFL and the NBA. That in the NBA, the league is gonna hold the players themselves very accountable to things that happen, and they're very quick to make decisions sometimes. Where the NFL, it can take them weeks or months, and they might get like a slap on the wrist or whatever, or like you've seen in other instances. I'm not really gonna compare instances, but that's the truth. Because I believe that in the NFL owners have a lot of power. What happens in the NBA, it's not really like that. It's really the commissioner, Adam Silver, and then everything else is really public image. It doesn't matter what the Grizzlies think. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna make sure that they handle that. And the NBA is trying to grow their brand that way. So if you're a guy like John Morant, really becoming the face of the league or one of the faces of the league, you're not going to be able to get involved with stuff like this and not get the 10-game suspension, 8-game suspensions, whatever. And ultimately that hurts your team. I think the Grizzlies are trying to make it to the playoffs, maybe even make it to the Western Conference, or even win an NBA championship. You can't hurt your team in that way. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of the situation in the end too. That now you're going for 8 games, like now your team has to fend without you for something that was unnecessarily, escalated to that point. That's all I'm saying about that, man. But I hope that it's over now. He got his 8 games. Let him serve suspension. He did his whatever counseling, and let's get back to playing basketball because this dude is talented, very talented, in fact. And I think that he has a bright future. So I hope that we can move on from this. Like we can get ready for the playoffs in a couple months, and we take it from there. But let me know what you think in the comment section, man. It's your boy Donnie, man. I thought I'd speak on this one because it's kind of bothering me that it went that far as it did. But hey, it happens. It was a story in the league for a month or so, and hopefully we can close the book on it. Like, comment, subscribe, enjoy these videos, man. It's your boy Donnie, and I'll see y'all next time, man. Peace. I'm out.